So the brand new Balance 442 Elite is a new offering from the New Balance brand in sort of that budget plus category for pricing, similar to the Icon 2, but following a lot of the DNA from the new Tiempo with a synthetic leather upper or synthetic upper in general. Now, I've already reviewed this pair, done a playtest, but one of the things that I sort of complained about, which is the case with the old model as well, but it wasn't as noticeable, is the fact that I actually need to go half a size up because it is a synthetic model. And I figured, what better way to display the half a size up in this absolutely beautiful white and gold colorway in a 9.5 US. Let's jump straight into it. Now, New Balances always come in a red box with the New Balance logo as well here on the top in white. And then if we shift it over to this side, you do see the men's. They don't actually put the New Balance 442 on here. It's just like one of the little SKU codes basically, which to be honest, I don't really care all that much, but it is something that would be kind of nice anyway. Some brands also put a little picture here as well, but I digress. Anyway, 9.5 US, which is a 9 UK and a Euro 43. And I know that sounds a lot bigger than I normally wear, but trust me, half a size up with the New Balance 442 Elite models is definitely the way to go. Now, these come in right around $170 to $190 US, which is a little bit more expensive than the previous. Oh my days. Yes, yes. Oh, look at those. They are so clean. Oh, I don't even want to wear them, but I'm going to anyway, because that's the philosophy here. Oh my goodness. Look how just perfectly balanced these are. All white, gold accents through the N, the New Balance 442 Elite model, and the New Balance logoing on the heel. They feel great. Goodness. They're very light as well. Okay, let's get these out of the box. Obviously, I think this is a new category, budget plus. So in US dollars, we have budget friendly, we have like takedown models, which are, I would argue, like the proper takedowns are probably somewhere in the $100 price point, 90 to 120 bucks. You have the budget friendly options, which are like 120 to 150 maybe. In terms of like, they are sort of their own silo, like a Nike Premier, what the Icon, or I guess the Icon was a little bit more expensive, but you could argue the Gloro, for instance, which I have down here. The Gloro is a budget option because it's not a takedown of the Copa Pure 3. It's its own silo, but it only costs, $140 bucks, $150 depending on where you buy it. This is sort of that budget plus, so $150 to $180, which is, yes, a little bit more expensive, but you do get some really nice stuff that we'll talk about in today's video, as well as test out on pitch. And I do think that these are going to be one of those sort of budget plus options that people are really, really going to enjoy. So they are still calling it a New Balance 442. Part of that is because it shares the same shape and sole plate from the regular 442 Pro, if you will. Even though this is technically like a new offering or a new model, it's like the top end 442 model as opposed to being the same as the 442 Pro, which I don't think I actually have a pair of those anymore. I think I sold all of mine. But it was a pair that I actually loved when it had K-leather in the forefoot and a synthetic leather midfoot. Now they've gone to a completely synthetic microfiber polyurethane basically material here, which is essentially a fake leather material. It feels very, very similar. It's actually a lot softer, in my opinion, than the Tiempo made in Montebelluna, the new Tiempo Legend 10, which I actually really enjoy playing in. It's a boot that I was very surprised by, and I think it's a pretty cool boot. These, on the other hand, though, are super, super soft straight out of the box. They've got that debossed patterning here that makes it feel like a quilted leather upper, which is pretty cool. And then you've got that nylon outsole with the same 11 conical stud pattern, 5 on the lateral side, 5 on the medial side, and then that one stud right in the forefoot. This is, for full disclosure, a sole plate that has a little bit of snap to it. It's not as bad as, say, the Premier 3 was, and it feels like this is a little bit more structured than some of the other boots on the market. Definitely more so, I think, than the Glora, which we have here. That bends a lot easier in my opinion. But again, you're paying a little bit more of a premium for the New Balance 442 Elite. Then you also have the hypoknit material here around the collar and through the lacing system area. And that has been essentially connected to this microfiber polyurethane upper, and it creates this really nice seamless sensation, which is sort of a new thing for the 442. Because when the 442 originally came out quite a long time ago, well, you can see here I have the 1.0 edition with the leather in the forefoot, much more chunky, much heavier. It was definitely a takedown model, or a budget-friendly option, I should say. This was then updated to the several pairs that I've reviewed already. I had a black and red pair that I reviewed, of course, did the all gold K-leather, the full K-leather model, which was amazing. The only issue that I really found with that boot was, number one, the heel wasn't very good because it had these really interesting kind of pods on it, basically, that were really stiff and really hard, and it didn't fit my heel particularly well, and I think a lot of people had issues with it, despite the rest of the boot fitting really well. The other issue with that boot was that the tongue would slide all over the place. And they could have fixed that potentially with having two little slits in the tongue so that it didn't shift as much. Asics does this really, really well when they have, the DS Lite X-Fly 5 actually has 4 slits in the tongue so that the lacing basically goes through the tongue 4 different times. So when you tie the laces tight, that doesn't move, that tongue doesn't move anywhere. It felt a little bit disconnected because the forefoot of that boot was very bulbous and the midfoot was not as sort of padded and cushioning. And although the forefoot of those K-leather models had a wonderful touch to them and really, really nice, because of the fact that the entire upper wasn't really connected all that well, the sole plate really struggled in terms of, yeah, it's still pretty bendy right now, and it's the same as you got on the regular 442 Pro. However, with this new sort of one-piece upper, despite it being 2 different materials, it feels on feet with the experiences that I've had with these so far. It feels a lot more holistic and like this is what the 442 sort of peak was meant to be. It was meant to have this monosock construction. It was meant to have sort of the seamless feeling around your foot. And it was meant to just be that one-piece upper that made it incredibly lightweight and a really, really nice soft upper to wear and to mold around your foot. In my opinion, this is the best 442 they've ever created, and I actually would say that it's better than the all K-leather version. The reason for that, and I know, oh, scandalous, fight me in the comments. No, seriously, try. No, just kidding. So the reason I think this is actually the best of the 442 line that they've ever produced so far is because of that feeling of cohesiveness. And when you have a boot like this, that when you put it on, yes, sure, it's budget plus, so it's less expensive than all the top end models. Your sole plate isn't as good and as aggressive, even in comparison to the Icon 2, which is sort of in that similar price range. This is a lot lighter than the Icon. It's thinner. The synthetic leather feels really soft and good around your foot, and the knit just kind of pushes that package all into one thing. And I can't really say, I don't know what else to describe it other than an incredible cohesive package, but that is one of the things that I think, that's one of the main reasons why I think this boot is easily the best 442 they've ever created. And it is one of those boots that I will be wearing with pride and joy because, number one, it looks incredible in this white and gold colorway. And number two, it actually performs excellently well for what it is. So if you are in the market for a top-end feeling football boot, but you don't want to spend, $200 and you want to spend more like $160 to $180, I would highly recommend you get a pair of these. I'll leave a link down in the description box below where you can find a pair of these. But yeah, these are really, really fantastic. So let's jump out on pitch. We'll do another play test in comparison to these guys. I'll just be wearing this and kind of explaining what the size change feels like and why I would recommend going up half a size. Let's jump into it. All right, guys, out on the pitch with the updated sizing for the New Balance 442. Now, this is going to be probably a lot shorter than most other play tests because you guys can hear and see my the electric yellow version. You guys can go and watch that one for like all my actual Thoughts on the boot? This is more just to test the sizing. Oh my days. Yep. I think the half a size up is going to be the move. Yes, I have a little bit of extra space on the end, but I think these are going to fit perfectly with a little bit of test and wear time. Yeah, these are very, very comfortable. I would say that the 9 is manageable. It's just a little bit on the tighter side, and I would rather have, so see how my toes seem to have a lot more kind of natural wiggle room? That's sort of what I'm looking for. So with this one, we're just gonna do a couple drills because this is the boot that I will probably be doing the 1 month review test in, which also means that that other pair I will put up for sale on my Instagram page. So if you're keen, just DM me and I'll sell it to you for a pretty good price. And I'm gonna use these boots for the 1 month review. I just wanted to get on pitch really quick just to do like 1 or 2 shooting drills and just to show you guys why I think going up half a size is actually the better move on these, and see how like wonderfully soft this upper is. Very, very comfortable straight away. So let's jump into just one little quick ladder drill while I go through and kind of talk you guys through the, oh yes, lovely. Yeah, very nice. These feel, oh, these feel really, really good. We're gonna go back, do it this way. Boom, boom. Yeah, lovely. So all the same things that I said in the previous video, much more of a cohesive package, but with the half a size up, I get the little bit of extra space here in the toe box area for me, which is really nice. It doesn't feel like my toenails are getting absolutely destroyed. So that's a huge thing, obviously. And yeah, I don't know, man. These are freaking comfy. We'll do one little dribbling drill here as well, just to get the feet moving a little bit. I am warm. I've already filmed 4 playtest reviews today, so this is number 5. But let's get a little bit of a, oh, love that. I also really like, so this 442 Elite has a little bit of like a matte stickiness to the upper, which is kind of interesting. And it allows for the boots to feel very connected to the ball, which I really like. So even the N has a little bit of that like waxy grip feeling to it. And so when you're dribbling the ball in dry conditions, and I'm sure this will carry over to wet weather conditions, it's just got this like, oh, you just feel like you have full control over it, particularly because of how soft it is. And it's very thin as well. So honest to God, I would compare this almost like it's almost silky wrap level of softness and enjoyment of playing, which is a huge compliment because silky wrap is easily the best synthetic leather on the market, bar none. So we'll just go one side with these little bounce, like wall pass to shot, little bended ball into the far corner. Again, really testing out that extra little bit of kind of matte grip. And I also wouldn't, nice. God, the feel for this ball is just so good. Because they've opted for that one piece upper, it just feels like such a nice and cohesive package. Oh, lovely. So good. I am feeling the lack of responsiveness a little bit more in the sole plate with a boot that's not as tight to my foot. Nice. Let's go one more. But I will say that that isn't necessarily a hindrance to like what yes, I would like it to be a little bit more something. And I realize that these are a little bit more expensive now. And you know, they're sort of a tier above, or supposed to be a tier above, the regular 442 Pro. But I do think that, you know, eventually they'll, nice. Eventually, hopefully they'll update it with an upper like this, that's this incredibly soft, and with a sole plate that's a little bit more rigid, a little bit more rigid. All right, here we go. Getting into a little bit of dribbling, just gonna get through these cones, pass it against, touch the side and try to whip it in. Really getting a feel for the extra sizing. Ooh, gotta get that out of my feet a little bit more. That's okay. Came out of these gates real quick.
I love these boots, man. I think these are a really nice upgrade from the normal 442, particularly in the heel area. And I do think that, albeit the upper being more cohesive and whatever, they've done a masterful job with a very simple upgrade to the heel. And I think that makes for, oh, no. That makes for a boot that, as I said before, is a very, very cohesive package, and it just feels a lot more together, which is obviously a great thing. Let's go one more there. A great thing for a playing experience when you have a boot that just feels like you put it on and it's like, yep, this is exactly what I'd expect it to be, which is awesome. Really, really good. So kudos to New Balance for sorting that out, because although, oh my goodness, although I do think that this isn't obviously the best, maybe synthetic leather on the market, this is the best available synthetic leather on the market, probably, because it's way better than Tiempo. It's way better than Puma. Asics obviously takes the cake with Silky Wrap, but easily for American and European markets, dude, this is the softest and most like leather-like sensation you're gonna get from a like synthetic pair of football boots. All right, a couple of free kicks and then crossbar challenge. It's again a little bit shorter today, but it's because I've already reviewed these, so feel free to go in and have a look at that other 9 US pair. There it is, bang. And this is why I love Silky Wrap and why I love the 442 Elite upper, because if you can see, it is just outrageously soft. And one thing that I've talked about in videos, sorry, you guys can't see me at all, can you? One of the things that I've talked about in videos before is when you have a free kick scenario like this, or when you're taking a shot anywhere, the ability for your foot to, wow, that like dipped really hard. I think that's a wind thing. But the ability for your foot to kind of basically flex in a different way. So yes, you're gonna hit the ball maybe differently depending on all of your different styles of shot. But when you have a boot like this that has an upper that gives you the ability to really just kind of customize the shot as if you're playing barefoot almost, and it kind of comes off your foot exactly how you want it to, that's like the magic spot when a boot is sort of this flexible and this just like custom fit to your foot straight out of the box. All right, so crossbar challenge, obviously, as always. Let me flip this little screen action so I can see what's going on here. All right, we'll go left foot first. Little ping into the wind, bang. Oh, dude, so close. All right, number 2, right foot, straight away, no cuts, get in. Oh my God. I love the way that these feel, and the ball just like comes off the foot so perfectly. It's a very pingy sensation. Let's jump into the conclusion. All right, guys, wrapping up the New Balance 442 Elite 2.0. And I think, as you can tell, I really, really, really enjoy these boots. I think these are one of those boots that just flies kind of under the radar a little bit as far as non-leather options go. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised when they put these on, just in terms of how much better they feel than the normal regular Pro Edition. And like, look at this. That is ridiculous. That is what the Tiempo, this is what Tiempo should be. It's super lightweight. It's got a leatherette type feel. It is just one of those boots that I think is going to crush. Yes, is it almost too soft? Maybe, but again, that's what I think with the sole plate that's not super, super sturdy, with the upper that's just really, really soft and kind of silky and buttery straight out of the box. I think you're getting what you pay for with this, which is the updated heel area and just a more cohesive package compared to the previous generation, or at least the Pro model, I should say. That being said, New Balance, what could you do to improve this model? I think maybe adding a tiny bit of extra structure to maybe just the midfoot would be kind of cool. That would be awesome. The forefoot I would keep just as beautiful and silky smooth and buttery soft and all that stuff. The heel area, much improved. And then the biggest thing that I think needs improvement is the sole plate. I think a boot like this is gonna be in a price category above the normal 442 deserves to have a sole plate that's a little more aggressive. I honestly wouldn't even mind if you were to put the Tequila sole plate on this. Like if you slapped Tequila version 4 sole plate on this and then moved the new Tequila to a different sole plate, not a problem at all. That would be suitable for what I'm looking for. So I would do something a little bit better for the sole plate because I think it's really lacking in that area, but the rest of the boot is so epically comfortable, and I think this is definitely a boot that all of y'all need to try. I would probably go half a size up. I do think it's going to be the best for wider foot shapes. You're going to fit much better half a size up. If you have a super narrow fit, I would probably just go true to size. It's going to be a little bit snug on the tip of the toe, but you should be fine. And I think it's going to just suit you a lot better. So that's going to wrap up today's video of going half a size up with the New Balance 442 Elite. These are a very, very comfortable football boot, and I am stoked to be continuing to wear these. As I said before, I will probably put the 9US, the Volt yellow colorway, up on my Instagram for sale at like a really discounted price. I've only worn them once, so that'll be obviously what am I trying to say? Reflected in the price point. So you can go pick those up, and then subscribe to my free newsletter down in the description box below. It'll be the first link down below. All of the extra content that I want to put on YouTube that I end up writing it instead of doing a video. It's over there. So hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As always, be awesome. Take care. See y'all in the next video.